These don't feel like interviews to me. It's not like with everybody else. Ooh, I'm so excited to do this fucking interview, dog. I'm so excited.
Different than the first album.
Oh, totally.
So there's going to be that period of like, how are people going to react?
I'm not worried, man. I'm telling you, it's like more than ever. On the first one, I was nervous. I'm not nervous, bro. I just know that the music is so good, like in my heart for my fans. Like I fucking know it, and it makes me so happy, dude. Like it's, oh man, I fucking know I know it's amazing. Like, and not to sound any type of way, it's just like, dog, like. That's why I love Kanye. You know, everybody's like, oh, he's so egotistical, and like Kanye, yeah, he be saying some crazy shit. Sometimes I don't understand. Like, I'm like, wow, but maybe I'm just not there yet. I haven't stepped into his shoes, you know? And it's like, he said some shit. He was like, what did he say? He said something like 2 plus 3 equals 5 in this interview he just did recently. He was like, you know, people be like, oh, you put 2 and 3 together, what do you get? 5. But he was like, nah, you know me, I might see 2 divided by 3, 2 times 3, 2. And I was like, whoa, like you just blew my mind. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. So for me, you know, watching Kanye go, I know I'm great. I know I'm great at what I do. I think, you know, there might be a certain way, time and place and shit like that, which I try to do.
I am the greatest.
Someone with power. Someone with power. Someone with dash. Someone with power.
That's a big difference between where my mind was on the first album as opposed to the second one, because I was trying to please everybody with the first one. Like, first and foremost, to please myself. I was happy with my raps, I was happy with the production, I was happy with the story, I was happy with this, but I was trying to reach this person and that person. You know what? I just kind of said, fuck all that. I'm gonna reach people. Is the music good? I'd like to think it's really good to the people who enjoy it.
Right.
It's not good to the people who don't enjoy it, but I don't make music for the people who don't enjoy it. It's that simple. And I got that out of my head. Another big thing is like, yo, I don't read blogs anymore. It's so tight. So tight.
Just frees you up.
Frees you up, man. Because like I used to read blogs all the time because I was a part of that culture. I was the dude who didn't have his music on blogs and was, you know, like everybody on blogs pretty much, like 99% of motherfuckers rap or do music or do something. You know what I mean? But I came from an era in blogs when, in forums and shit, when there was a lot more respect, I think. It was before the trolls really came from underground. They were still there, you know, under the bridge, but like, under the bridge downtown. But there was a debate, you know. There wasn't really like, oh, he's a faggot, blah, blah, blah. Like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ, like, that's okay. Like, people say shit like that, worse shit than that all the time, and it's like, whoa. But it used to be like, you know, like when 808s came out, I didn't like it. I was Wu-Tang, blah, blah, like da-da-da. I mean, graduation was crazy, blah, blah, but I was like, what is this? And then you grow and you open your mind and you're like, oh my God, what did he just say about his mom? Oh man, like, oh, this and that and da-da-da. And you grow. But I wasn't like, I hate 808s, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, I was just like, this isn't really, I don't really like this. I love when Kanye goes over break beats and this and that, da-da-da. But that's a fan telling Kanye what Kanye should do, when we should just let Kanye be Kanye. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I think when you become an artist, you realize, wow, even more than ever, like, wow, just let him do him, you know what I mean? That with blogs, when I first started, it was a debate. Now it's, what do I hate about this? Let me say everything I hate about it and then not say anything good. Like legit, like that's what it is. Unless you're a stan and you just love that person, then you just say all the great things you love about it, not really the things you don't like about it or whatever the case may be. Months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna read anything because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter. Like, all that matters is that I'm happy. I'm making the music that I want to make for the people who want to hear it. And if I'm selling records or at least selling tickets, that must mean it's doing good. And if I'm still getting millions of plays in the first day on some Drizzy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kidding. But like, if I'm doing good, then that's all that matters. So I pretty much just stick to like Twitter now. Because Twitter's pretty like all over, you know, you get love, you get hate, you get this, you get that, but that's where all your fans are. That's where they just talk. So if I release a song and there's a lot of people like, wow, this is awesome, and it's like a majority of the people really enjoy it, okay, I know, okay, cool. And then I just don't read it anymore because I don't want to fill my head and grow ego or anything.
Right.
So
before you put out your first album, I remember we had conversations about you feeling kind of like an outsider of the hip hop community.
For sure.
Has that changed at all?
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel totally in hip hop now. I definitely feel like I'm a name in hip hop, which is great. Funny thing is now that it happens, I don't give a shit. So funny, bro. I used to think like, and much love. Like I can't tell you, XXL, I owe so much to for putting me on that cover. But then you get there and you realize how it's very important, very important. But you realize it doesn't define your career at all. Whether you're on that shit doesn't matter. It's an accomplishment. It's like, sure, I'd love a Grammy. I actually have a line about in on the album where I'm like, something about like everybody want to do this, like live this life, but it's like, fuck that. Do what's good for your family. Make music like there's no Grammy. For that last line, they might ban me. I don't give a fuck though, because I am me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, of course I want a Grammy. And I never told anybody this, but like, I have my Grammy speech. I wrote it before my first album even came out. It doesn't mean I wrote it for that album or this album or whatever. It means I wrote it, and if I get to read it one day, cool. But if not, fuck it. So, wait, what was the question?
The question was, do you still feel like you're an outsider of...
So I don't feel like an outsider because I create. That's another thing about this whole album. Man, I'm so glad we're doing this fucking interview, though. Like Paradise, man, there's all these like jag-off artistic meanings behind all this shit. It's like Paradise is a planet that I created for those like-minded individuals who want to live there. Like legit. And I mean that in my world, like in my world. Like Paradise is a world for, people who love all music, generally positive. Bring on debates and all this thing, but as long as you respect each other, like you're invited to this planet. You know what I mean? Like you're invited to be in my circle. Like that's what it is. So instead of trying to join this or be cool with this person or that, but like, man, fuck all that shit. Like I think that's another reason why, like, you see that, like, that thing that went viral of me, like, yeah, I don't fuck with nobody, man. So funny. Because anybody who knows me knows it's the truth. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, no, I don't fuck with nobody. I just got my puppy and my wife now and blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Like, that's true. The funny thing is it was received extremely well on the internet because so many people were like, yo, this is me. I just be in my house. I just be chilling.
You kind of told me some of the stuff when you were growing up in Maryland. You're in the fucked up household. Like, you create this ulterior place where you want to be. Yeah. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm back here.
Yeah,
like, this is going on. But, like, in the first album, you gave us what Maryland was like when you were a childhood, and now you're giving us what your imagination
for sure
is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the question
is. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what the fuck are you about to say?
I think for people who kind of create their own world because they don't necessarily feel social or whatever.
For sure.
When you're able to tap into that.
There's good and bad to it.
Tell me about that.
You can escape in video games. I used to escape in video games when I had a job, and like, I hated it and it sucked, and I lived in my sister's basement, and like there's crazy shit going on upstairs and like all this stuff, and like I escape in Call of Duty and Metal Gear Solid, and like I get to be this superhero. I get to fight. I get to save the world because my life fucking sucks. And this is before I found music. And I think people can escape in music, but like I always say, there's a secret to success that is not a secret as long as you speak the language. And I said I will. And I did it. I'm gonna in 2010, I'm gonna be a freshman on the cover of XXL in 3 years. I said it. I was, I'm gonna sign a deal I want to sign. I did. Most people go, I would, but I want to, but it's money, or somebody in my family's sick, or this and that. That sucks, but you're just still telling yourself why you can't. And I think that's a lot of fear. So realism, determination, persistence, wanting success more than your next breath. Like that's it. That's all it is, man. Like that's what you got to do. So some people might not necessarily have realism, and they're like, oh, I want to do music, and it's like you escape in this shit. But it's fun to escape. Okay, cool. But when you're like living 6 days a week, and you like, I'm a rapper and I'm this and that, but you're just going to the open mic every week. Cut the demo, man. Like, travel, like meet people, start a team, do that. Don't just live like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Like, that can be a bad thing. So you can create your own thing, but if you don't like execute on it, it can be negative. So I created my own world. It's me, it's my wife, it's my best friends, and that's it. And it's amazing. It's fucking awesome. Like, it's super tight, and I'm very happy because I did it the right way. you don't deserve to be a part of my world if you're not a good enough person. You know what I mean? That's all it really comes down to. But you can't live in fear. So that's why fear. It's like we all have fear. I mean, you can't not have fear. It's just bullshit. Somebody says they're not scared of something, so they're lying.
You had fear of flying?
I did have a fear of flying, and that's gone. Didn't we talk about that in one of the interviews?
Yeah,
we did.
We mentioned it a little bit.
Very big fear of flying, to the point where I was gonna buy a fucking tour bus. I was like, I'm about to cat live this shit. We the best, riding around the fucking country, like
right.
legit, you know. And I get it, because I understand what that's like. And I don't know, my fucking attorney, Paul Rothenberg, fuck you, Paul. He got in my head one day, and we were at dinner, and he was like, yeah, man. That's how he sounds. He was like, yeah, planes, right? I can't deal with them. Planes suck. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. He's like, nah, man, you're in this fucking metal death machine flying 30,000 feet above. And I'm like, man, whatever. And then I get on a plane the next day from New York to LA, and I'm like halfway through the flight, and everything goes like, you ever see like Jaws, like where the camera's like, you know, in the background's all this, and I'm like, oh shit. Yo, this is so unnatural, bro. Like, I don't have wings, bro. Like, I'm not supposed to be up here. And then I battled it for about a year and a half. It was horrible, man. It was like the biggest thing I was ever scared of, afraid of, that I dreaded. And I've been through a lot of shit. You know, I've been in fucked up situations. Wasn't sure if I was gonna get shot or this or that or like crazy shit. But all that shit was nothing compared to just stepping onto a plane. And to some, it may seem irrational, but think about your biggest fear, whether it's your mom getting shot or this or that or da-da-da. That's what it was like, you know. Everybody has their own fear, and it was just something that was that scared me. But you know what it was? It was fear of success. So I think that's a big thing that was there too. It was fear of not being in control. And at the height of the fear, now I get on a plane like it's nothing. I think my fear is just this much more than the normal person who realizes, oh, the plane could crash. It's probably not gonna. One day, I was just like, yo, I get to see Paris. I get to see, you know, I'm gonna see the pyramids one day. I'm gonna go to Tokyo. I'm gonna travel all across the globe. And I could be safe in my house and not fly and fucking have an aneurysm or something. You know what I mean? Like, you never know when your time is. Don't do nothing stupid, but like, you know, within the limits. Like, I really want to skydive. You know, I think that's something that would be awesome just to check out. Have you ever done it? Would you do it?
No.
You wouldn't do it? Why not?
No.
We gotta do it.
No.
Yo, would you do it with me?
No.
Please?
No.
Why?
I'll do a lot of shit. Skydiving.
Why not?
Bro, that's some white people shit. I get enough excitement. I don't need to do, like, I'll go surfing with you. We go do.
We should jump out of a plane together.
I ain't jumping out no plane.
I don't know if I want to do it, but that is some white people shit. I just can't convince myself.
I ain't doing that. I'll applaud you from below.
Okay.
I'll watch you do it. But you said something that I want to just talk about. You said part of the fear of flying, you said fear of success.
Yeah,
explain that to me.
You know, I've seen people self-assassinate themselves and self, what's the word?
Sabotage.
A good one. Self-sabotage. Because they're scared that even if they did it, they would fail. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to be revered and remembered as, man, fuck hip-hop, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like music, hip-hop included. Like, I want to be remembered. You don't want to limit myself, you know? And so it's like, oh shit, well, if I get on this plane and I go here, whatever. It's so minute, but it's these little things like, oh man, I don't know. Because what if I get there and I choke? You know what I mean? Or this or that or blah, blah, blah. That's just the devil or the this or the that, whatever the fuck you want to call it, just talking to you, telling you that you can't do something. And I battled with that. I love that we're even talking about this, man, because this is what this whole album is about. Like, I'm a human being. I'm just a regular fucking dude, man. And we all go through it, whatever it is. And I went through some of the craziest shit. I know somebody could be like, man, you went through all that shit and you worried about a plane? And it's like, I know, it's crazy. But not anymore. And that's the amazing thing. When you conquer some shit, it's fucking awesome, dude. Like, now I walk into a plane, I'll just be doing my Rubik's Cube, motherfuckers be looking at me like, gee, Williker, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a musician. You know how that goes, that whole conversation.
Yeah.
What do you play?